Hi, all. Thanks so much for watching this Stephanie Feals show. So today I have an update on the Axolotl pillow from the Girl Scout cookies, and then talking about two other totally random things. So let's start with the cookie, shall we? So the troop leader comes out after I've gotten all my cookies. We've talked about it, we've counted it, done the whole thing, and she has a Target bag. And I'm like, what is this Target bag? I wonder what could I be missing? Guys, it was the pillow. The pillow fit in a Target bag. Okay, first red flag, right? Because it wasn't popping out. And I told you this thing better not be the size of an American Girl pillow. Allow me to show you this pillow. Stop it. Stop it. What is this for my cheek? It's like for maybe like if you're on a plane so you don't, like drool on yourself or something like that. Stop it. I mean, just this 200 bucks. By the way, it's not like super thick. But let me show you, it's like a Rite Aid receipt, the tag on it. Stop it. Stop it. 200 boxes for this pillow. You've got to be kidding me. It's winking because it's like, just kidding, joke's on you. That was a lot of freaking work for 200 or for this tiny ass pillow. Anyway, so brought all my cookies home, got all those. But when she came out with this cookie, or when she came out with this bag, and then she opened it up and she's like, oh, here's your Axolotl pillow. I looked at her and I said, you take that right back in your house, you go put it in some water, and you call me in a few hours and see if that thing is puffed up. But seriously, I'm like, is this like a sponge? Like I can put this in my bathtub and like in 3 hours, it's going to be a normal size pillow for a human? I am not very confident in this. But she was dying because I was like, you just turn right back around. I'm not, obviously, I'm going to accept this because I earned it. And I know that it will not work to submerge this. But honest to God, I could not believe it. Like I could, but I couldn't. It's one of those moments. So, anyway, I get home. My daughter gets home from school. We're talking about her day. And then she asks about ghosts, if ghosts are real. And I was like, I mean, I don't have all the answers to the universe. So I don't know. I can only tell you my experience, which is very confusing. And I said, I don't know that I believe in ghosts, yet I'm 3,000% sure that I've seen one. So I texted my friend and I said, hey, do you remember this happening? Like, do you remember seeing a ghost? And if so, what do you recall? She writes back and she's like, yes, with a million S's. And then she says the exact same thing. Now we differed on the clothes. It's both a man. She said it looked like a younger guy. I think it was an older guy. Regardless, I mean, it was at a distance. But we recall this exactly the same. And it was the weirdest thing. We were sitting at her house. We were probably, I don't know, 10, 11, something like this, with her sister, who we know remembers this and believes this too. But my friend and I were sitting there with her sister outside, and her grandma lived a couple doors up. And in her grandma's backyard, all of a sudden, like pitch black out, middle of summer, out of nowhere, this glowing figure of a man appears in the middle of the yard. Like, what? It literally just appeared, like pitch black, and then there's a glowing white figure of a man in the center of this yard. Then the figure floats across the grass to the edge of there's like a shed back there in a tree line, goes over there for a second or two. I guess it's getting its tools. I don't know what it was going on that night. And then floats back to the middle of the yard and disappears. And we're all like, did you just see it? Do you want to go inside? Yes. And then we all ran like hell to get inside because that was so, like, we could not believe what we were seeing. But the fact that she and I still remember this, again, I'm in my 40s and we were probably like 10. She and I remember this exactly the same is so crazy. So then my daughter's like, oh my God, we have this. And we talked about friendly ghosts and all this stuff. And she goes, she goes, in case we have any ghosts, let's just open the doors to the house for 5 minutes. And then certainly they'll get out if they have to go. I said, no, but what would get out is like all of our pets and maybe let some raccoons in. Thank God it's not lanternfly season. What a nightmare that would be. No, thank you. So we opted for not leaving the doors open and letting anything in or out. Her one teacher emails to the whole group of parents and says, hey, we're working on these things. We're going to be telling time. And then said, as a note, also, there have been a lot of sick kids. Please make sure you're reviewing things like hand washing, blah, blah, blah. One of them was nose picking. Now, I've heard from other parents that their kids pick their nose. It seems to be some sort of recreation. I don't understand this. Thank God my daughter has never done this. She really doesn't. But I wrote back to that teacher and I said, first, OMG with the nose picking, and then 2 rows of vomit emojis, and said, I can't even with that. And then I ended the email. I wrote back about the time, telling time or whatever. And then it ended the email by saying, thanks and Godspeed with the nose picking. I would seriously vomit. She wrote back and she was like, OMG with a bunch of laughing emojis. I'm dying. And she's like, I gag several times a day. And I wrote back to her and I was like, I would seriously just be wearing a vomit bag, like a St. Bernard around with a barrel around its neck. There is no chance that I could survive in a world where my kid was picking her nose. Like, for real. I don't do anything like any kind of secretion coming out of the face. That is just not for me. I can't. Like, it never bothered me to change diapers. Pee and poop, I can handle that. I'm not sure why, but like all the gross things that come out of a human's face could not make me more sick. So I was like, this, among many reasons, is why I could not be a teacher. I mean, no, 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 no.